weekend with my team on a top secret project. It's going to come out.
Hey guys, we're ready for another Monday live YouTube chat. So I understand we got quite a few questions, and it's a little bit of a weird day for me, but I'm gonna barrel my way through it, and maybe at the end I'll talk about something or other that happened. So, but I'll wait until after the questions and answers.
All right. Hi, Sammy. Steve Jackson in your super chat. Hey, Sammy. What happened to the Connecticut Capo that Paul allowed to be killed for Chin? And why did it anger you and Frankie DeChico and others?
I don't remember his name, but I remember the situation. He was a capiche. He was a captain in the Connecticut crew. He was a problem for Chin. And Paul was making so much money with the Genovese family, Chin, and he allowed Chin to kill him. Now, what angered us is that, number one, that's his job. He's in Connecticut. He's got a crew. He's taking a stand in certain areas. He's fighting for our family. You're his father. You're his boss. You're supposed to protect him, number one. Number two, you never give out a contract to another family to kill one of your men, especially a maid guy or a captain. It's just unheard of. And the reason behind it is, you know, a lot of us talk, just not just me and Frankie DeChico, but a lot of us talk, oh my God, you better not get into an argument with Chin. Paul will maybe let him take you out or something. It's a horrible thing. He should have fought tooth and nail for the guy. That's his job. That's his area. He's fighting for us. And if there is a problem, you're a boss. He's a boss, Chin. You resolve the problem, but you don't give up your guy, especially that easy. So that's the reason what bothered us. And that probably was one of the big reasons leading to his downfall.
Nice. Thank you, Sammy. Jared in your super chat. Hey, Sammy, hope all is well. What street was your house on in Cream Ridge?
In Cream Ridge, New Jersey, the farm you're talking about. I don't remember the name of the street. I really don't remember it off the top of my head. But it was a beautiful farm. Right across the street, there was a farm that was my farm was 30 acres. Across the street, there was a horse breeding farm that was about 120 acres. It was also very beautiful. When we looked from our farm across the street, they had these big corrals with horses in there that are being bred, running around, and it really a beautiful, beautiful place. I don't remember. The funny thing about that farm, I talked about it. The people who own it today sent me pictures of it. They not only maintained it, they fixed it up, they kept it beautiful. And they invited me anytime I want to come. They already know I owned it. They got pictures of me on the walls. It was crazy, but I don't remember the street name.
Okay, Slobodan. Were the Persico brothers so as vicious as people say they were?
The Persicos? Mm-hmm. Yes. That's why Carmine got the name of Carmine the Snake Persico, because he was very sneaky and he was very vicious, and he bit. So that's how he got the name, and they were dangerous. They were fighting the war in the family. They were tough. That's the first crew I was in. I went there with Shorty. I was an associate. When I went to them, they were fighting it was called the Gallo-Profaci War. Profaci was in prison. Joe Gallo was on the street. And they were battling it out. Then they all went to jail, and it stopped. By the time I got in, I had done a piece of work. Joe Gallo, crazy Joe Gallo, was coming out of prison. The war was going to start again. A lot of guys came out, and I was told to hit the mattresses with Shorty Spiro and Carmine Persico's whole crew. Carmine was not in the house with us, but I was in there with most of the crew. And we hit the mattresses, and it was the first war I was in. So yes, they were very dangerous.
Thank you, Sammy. Victor, Sammy, how are you doing? How true is it that Alphonse or Little Al DiArco was in charge to carry out a contract on you?
It's very, very true. It's really not that he was carrying out a contract from Gas Pipe or Vic Amuso. What he did, they killed the guy, a made guy, and they put a canary in his mouth, and that's how he was found. In other words, he was a cooperator, he was talking, he was a rat. It really wasn't true. They did that to give an excuse on why they're killing a made guy, a friend of ours. And we knew the family, mostly John knew the family, his family, and we knew this was bullshit. John sent me over to Little Al DiArco to talk to him and say to leave this family alone. The guy is dead. We can't interfere with your business, whatever your reasons were, but leave them alone. Gas Pipe and Vic were on the lam. He wasn't the acting boss. He was on a committee of 3 or 4 guys who were running the family while they were on the lam. But he was the guy bringing the messages back and forth to Gas Pipe and Vic. And when I went down to talk to him, I said, listen, John is sending you a message to leave the family alone. You're talking to the family about monies and bullshit. Leave them alone. We're not interfering in what you did. But we know the family. John knows the family. We want them left alone. If there's any money, it's coming to you guys. We'll collect it and give it to you. But leave them alone. They're legitimate people. And he said, Sammy, I don't think I could do that. I'm the boss now, and I said, whoa. I was the underboss. I said, you're not the boss, you fucking asshole. You're the acting boss, a real boss. John Gotti said, telling you what the fuck to do, and I'm an underboss. You're a captain, and you're running messages. I'm telling you, and he's telling you what the fuck to do. Bother these fucking people. When I come back, you'll feel sorry. Now, he shit his pants a little bit. Big Louis Valerio was with me. He had some of his guys outside. They heard me. I almost crushed the chair. I picked it up and banged it, and it broke. And Big Louis told them, just sit the fuck down there talking. And when I came out, after a while, they thought he was holding back or doing things he should have never been doing. They put a contract on him. They were going to whack him. And he was afraid that I was very friendly with Gas Pipe and I was steaming with him, that I would get it. On his own, without Gas Pipe and Vic, he made an appointment with me in Gargiulio's restaurant in Coney Island. He told the guys that's a hit on Sammy, and Big Louie was going to be coming with me, so we would both get hit that day. The only thing is that day when I was going to go there to meet him, he had guys in the restaurant ready to take us out. There was a lot of cars around. And some of the guys, Louis Vicente and other people, told me, Sammy, there's a million fucking, and we knew they were agents. There's a million cars. So I said, it looks like maybe I'm going to get pinched today or somebody's going to get pinched today. I can't go there. Bring this heat with me because they'll follow me. So I got Johnny Gamarano, who's a made guy. I had an envelope that I was supposed to give those people, the Lucchese's. I gave him the envelope. I said, send my apologies. Tell him there's a ton of agents around me. Here's the money that you're supposed to get from these deals, and I'll see you at another time. Now, if I would have went to that restaurant, if those agents weren't there, I would have got killed, me and Big Louie. And he did that literally on his own. I found that out a long while after, and when I was in prison with one of his guys who came over to me, and he was on the hit as well, and he told me all about the hit. So he was doing that. It was almost an off-the-record thing, and here's what a tough guy he was. He was so scared of me and his bosses and everything at that time. He wasn't pinched. He called the police and cooperated with his son, who was also made, to cooperate right from the house. He had police come down with helicopters to pick him up, bring him in, and he would cooperate. And that's what he did. So that's the hit he had. It wasn't really an official hit, but it was going to be done. I met the guys who were going to be on it as well. I don't blame them. They had orders. They didn't know what, you know. And the guy said, Sammy, one or two guys were sick. They really thought the world of you. I said, listen, I'm not mad, bro. You were following orders. I get it. It was not a problem. But it's good to know that, you know, the story, number one. Number two, don't avoid me. Come and sit at my table, eat, have coffee. I don't have hard feelings about it. Don't worry about it. I give you my word. And he did. He hung with me while we were together in prison.
Thank you, Sammy. That was amazing. Ooh. Long Traveler 84 in your super chat. No comment, no question, just his weekly envelope.
Thank you, my brother. It's guys like you. I really appreciate all of you. Questions or no questions. And, you know, I just had a conversation with this guy, Big Dom, from the Bonanno family. He was with Vinny Gorgeous, tough guy, did work. And I was in prison with him as well. And he's going to open up, he's opening up a YouTube channel. If you want to go down and visit him, do that. It was a great meeting. We had fun. I had a small little birthday party. We were filming, and he was there as well. So, and soon I'm going to come out with that video, and you'll see Dom and me talking, and I think me and him are going to be pretty close. And like I said, I knew him from jail. I didn't know him personally on the street. He's younger than me, but he was up and coming with Vinny Gorgeous, and I knew he was a tough guy. I heard of him, but I didn't know him personally. Now I do know him personally. I like him, and he's built like a fucking moose. I mean, he's tough with his hands. His fucking arms were like my thighs. This motherfucker. And he's a good guy. When I call a person a motherfucker, usually I love him. He's my friend. So I don't say that in a harsh way. So I think I answered that question, or did I go into a tantrum and I don't even know what the fuck I said?
I think his podcast is Mafia Roundtable.
Mafia Roundtable with Dom. So Big Dom. And if you go to him, give him my regards, say Sammy loves you, and, you know, and wish him luck.
Melissa Zakowski with her envelope to you. Happy birthday, boss. We love you.
This girl I have a special love and respect for. She's one of my top team players. Anna, who reads off, and Melissa, my two top guns. I got this little Arab bitch with me. What's her name again?
Amina.
No, I know. It's Melina. She's sitting across and I'm breaking her chops. So, as a matter of fact, her daughter's sitting on the other side. She heard that little bitch. She's sitting up, getting mad at me. So, yeah, I love you. I love you, Melissa. Thank you so much.
Ryan Brown in the super chat, Sammy, here is my weekly envelope. You mentioned Anthony Rapino was scary. Did he ever do any work for the family? Also, what was with the guy who fired shots at John Gotti?
Well, it's two questions. Anthony Rampino was a tough guy. He did work, but he was a tall, thin, very muscular, you know, ripped up type of guy. Ugly as fucking sin. So if somebody owed you money, you would tell them, Tony, take a ride with me. Because when you would walk in with him, the guy would pay you right away. He'd see this big, ugly motherfucker. He'd pay you right away, thinking he's going to get hurt. But Tony Rampino was a tough guy. He wound up being a heroin addict, went to prison. I don't know if he's still alive or he passed away. But he was a good guy. And every time I had to go to scare somebody, I don't want to hit him, just scare him. I took him with me. He was perfect. What was the other part of that question?
The shots at Gotti. What was with the guy who fired shots at John Gotti?
The guy who fired shots at John Gotti was a religious nut. And he was doing something for the Bible, and he was going to kill John Gotti because he was a bad guy, or whatever the fuck his thinking was. And he shot at him. He missed him. And he started to run. And he was chased. Bobby Borriello caught up with him, John's bodyguard, snatched him. They grabbed him. They threw him in a car. They brought him to Staten Island it's a candy store that Joe the Cat, another made guy, owned. They got in touch with me. I went and meet with Joe the Cat's son, and they had him in the candy store. What John wanted to know, he thought it was a hit. So he wanted the guy tortured to find out who sent him. When they were torturing him, Joe Watts was there, went there to do the work, was sent there by John. While they were torturing him, he was quoting Bible things and all. He was just a fucking weirdo. They whacked him out. Joe Watts killed him. They left him in there. We're going to take the body out of there at night when it got dark. They closed the place. When they closed it, the door didn't lock. It was slightly open. A police car passed by, saw the door slightly open, thought it was a burglary. They went in, they searched the place, they found the body in the basement. Joe the Cat didn't get in trouble, it was closed. You know, he had problems with it, but nobody got indicted, nobody did. The guy was a complete and total screwball. And he wanted to do society a favor, whatever the fuck his mentality was, but he was quoting all kind of scriptures from the Bible. A real Bible nut. You know, people, I'm not saying people who read the Bible are nuts, but this one was completely space cadet. And that's the story on that. It's a little more complicated, but I think you got the point.
Yeah. Thank you, Sammy. Long Traveler 84 again in the super chat. Hey, happy B-Day, love from the OC. Do you believe Sheeran was the hit guy for Hoffa?
No, without a doubt. Who? The
Sheeran, the Irishman.
No. I know he wasn't the hit guy. That was all bullshit. The guy, the Irishman, he wrote a book or something, said that he killed Hoffa. He also said he killed, I think, Crazy Joe Gallo or somebody, he said. He was bullshitting in both counts. Hollywood grabbed the book. They went with it like it was gospel. They didn't ask people like me, I guess. No, it was false. The Genovese people had the contract. I know the whole story with the Hoffa thing. It's too long for me to tell the whole story, but I know the whole story. I know who went down there. I know who did it. I don't know where they buried the body. I assume they buried it on a farm in Detroit. There's stories about they put it in the trunk and they drove it all the way back to Jersey. That's bullshit too. They left the gun on top of the body when they walked out. Nobody would do that. That's probably bullshit too. I mean, why would I shoot somebody with a gun in my hand? My fingerprints are all over this fucking gun. Why would I leave it on the body? Would I want to go to prison? It was stupid. But it's a story for Hollywood. I didn't like that movie. Not that it wasn't well done. I thought it was well done. I thought the actors played good parts. It's too fucking far-fetched for me. So that's the only reason I didn't like it.
Thank you, Sammy. Jim Rockford in the super chat. Sammy, in your prime, hand to hand, you or John Gotti?
He was a lot bigger than me, but I'm going to be honest, I would probably break his ass. I don't think he was a match for me. I boxed as a kid. I went to Atlas Gym. I had a trainer. I worked with Teddy Atlas, who's a pretty good trainer. Matter of fact, he's a very good trainer. I worked with him and I worked with other people. I fought in the ring. I was a workout nut. For a little while, I took steroids. I was bulky. John did not do exercises as far as I saw. I was even in prison with him. I never seen him do one fucking push-up. He was big, much bigger than me, chunky. When he, I seen him naked now in the cell, and it wasn't muscle. So I don't think he could have beat me, I tell you the truth. But you never know, and it's a silly question, because I would have never raised my hands to him. He was the boss. He was 4.5 years older than me. And I always had tons of respect. I would never even consider raising my hands to him. If I wound up with a problem with him at the end, I still wouldn't fight with him. I would shoot him. I mean, that's my style. I don't care about a fight. I don't care about a fight in prison. I'm a small guy. I don't care if I win or lose. All I want when I fight is I want the guy who I fought, even if he won, to say, I never want to fight this little fuck again. Because I fight real hard. You better knock me the fuck out. I bite, I kick, I'll pluck your eye out. I fight like a bastard. I fight to win. I fight to hurt you. You got me that mad that I'm going to fight. I'm going to try and hurt you. And I think a lot of people knew that. And that's how I was a little successful in fighting. Even when I was in the military, I fought in the ring a little bit. So I don't think John, I think he could probably fight. And I think it would be a good fight because he was much taller, heavier. But I don't think he was a match for me, I'll tell you the truth. Only for those reasons.
Have you ever actually plucked an eyeball out in a fight?
No, but if I was, you on top, but I would bite, I would grab your face, I would pull you, I'm a little bit of an animal when I fight. Because of my lack of physical size and everything else, but I got a lot of heart when I fight, and I fight hard. I fight to win, I fight to hurt you. I mean, I don't fight every 2 minutes. I try to avoid fights, don't like it too much. I don't mind it. Like I said, I got in the ring. There's a lot of times I got to cross the ring from a black guy who's all fucking muscled up in this. I said, well, I'm going to get my ass kicked for sure. But as soon as I heard that bell ring, I'm coming at you. And I'm not saying I won all these fights, but I fight.
Nice. Thank you, Sammy. Oz in your super chat. Happy birthday. Wishing you many more. Salute from Carmine.
My pleasure. Thank you so much. And I'm going to add one more thing. I think I'm in good shape. I'm 78 years old with all these happy birthdays. Now, I will fight anybody from 80 years to 180 years old right now, and I think I'd be the champ of the world. So I'm still in good shape. All right, get out of that thing. I'm jumping back in. So go ahead.
Mad Cool says in your super chat, loved your chess comments. Chess is a powerful game.
Chess, there's no doubt, it's a thinking man's game. It's great for business. They started teaching it in colleges and universities. It's a mental game. Your side has to go on the other side to kill the king and vice versa. And there's much strategy. And the strategy which I really like is that when a guy makes a move, you got to look at what piece he used and why you got to try to figure out, why did he make that move? What is he going to do next? And when you start thinking like that, it helps you in so many different ways. In an argument, a simple argument with your wife, you can almost see where this argument is going. She's saying something, I could see her little trembling, a little this, a little that. I know she's going to go overboard with me. I try to stop the argument. It's understandable for business, relationships. It's a good thing. I love the game. I wasn't the best at it, but I'm certainly. There's a couple of guys. One of my guys is smiling at me because he knows I could break his ass.
It's part of the interview process here at Sammy's offices.
Yes, if you beat me in chess, you're fired.
To play him in chess. Ricardo.
So you hear everybody giggling in the back. So I'm pretty good chess player.
Slick Rick 757 super chat. Did you ever have to deal with any zips from the other side?
Any what?
Zips.
Zits?
Zips.
Zips?
Z-I-P-S.
Oh, zips. Grease balls from the other side. I did deal with them on many occasions. There's no question about it. I even did a video where they broke my windows when I was just an associate in the Colombo family. I did a video about it. Me and my Gumbada went down to talk to them. It didn't wind up good for them, but I dealt with them quite a few times. And they were in our family. There's a lot of people who are like Johnny Gambino and Joey Gambino. There's a lot of people who are from the other, born and raised on the other side. And they call them, it's a racial, slur, zip, greaseball, all of those terms. It doesn't bother me, and I don't think it bothers the rest of the Italians, unless you're in my face and you're like trying to degrade my race by saying, you fucking greaseball. I would be offended by that. But using it in those terms, I'm not offended by it. I'm sure even black people, when you use the N-word, a lot of them in prison anyway, everybody uses it, and it's not an offensive word because you could be talking about anybody. I used it once talking about my unit manager who was Italian. And all the black guys were laughing. I said, what's so funny? You never used the N-word. You just called this guy the N-word. So, but you really don't offend them with that word. It's in rap music. It's all over the place. It's if you get a black person and you're calling him that and trying to disgrace his heritage and everything, that he wants to break your face. And I get it. I understand. So zip doesn't bother me, and I don't think it bothers any Italians. We refer that to people who were born and raised on the other side. The Mexicans have another term, water boys, or they call them a few other things. They relate to where the guy was born and raised. I don't think it's a but if you're using it in the wrong way, it could be a racial slur.
Agreed, Sammy, agreed. I think it's wetback, they call us.
Yeah, wetbacks. There are a lot of names. Irish, Mick was one of them, and all these different bullshit terms. But some of them are meant to be offensive towards you and your race, and I could see why somebody would get mad. I would get mad too. But if it's just used in that kind of terminology, I wouldn't get mad. I don't think a lot of Italian people, and I don't think even a lot of the reality is even a lot of black people, they hear that word all the time. It doesn't mean anything. It can refer to somebody that they don't like, or that sometimes it's somebody they like. They refer it. It's meaningless unless you're in the guy's face and you're calling him that to put him down and his race. Then he's going to get offended, I think.
Joseph Walker in your super chat, Sammy, how was the Chin and Paul's relationship? Did they work good together?
They actually had a very, very tight relationship. A lot of money deals, or a lot of big deals and money deals, and Paul had a lot of respect for Chin. Chin was about goes in Austria. He's a real tough guy, super tough guy, good money maker. He had a lot of qualities, Chin. He's very, very secretive. Didn't talk to many people. I literally had 2 or 3 or 4 sit-downs with him. I actually had a good relationship with him. When we took out Castellano, they talked about killing John, Frankie the Chico, me, a few guys, a few other people. And from what I understand, a person who was at that meeting and heard it, and I've got it from 2 people, a man and a woman who overheard the conversation, saying, I don't think we have to kill Sammy. Loves construction. He's a good guy. I think we give him a pass. So in the beginning, they took me off that hit list. They had John and Frankie and a few other people on that list. I was on it, and he took me off. I would say a couple of months later, I heard another story that he said, Sammy will say, I accept the terms and what happened, but he's a dangerous motherfucker, and he'll come at us. So put him back on the list. And I got back on the list, on the hit list to be hit. But I liked him. He was a man of his word. I was 3 or 4 situations. Again, they were all too lengthy to me. I'll kill the whole hour talking about it. But I respected him in a lot of different ways.
Thank you, Sammy. Tarek A in the super chat. Can you tell us about the Connecticut captain and Paul Castellano? Salute.
I just talked about the Connecticut captain and Paul Castellano, how he got killed and why they let Chin hit him. So I just answered that a little bit earlier.
Thank you. Billy Ryan in the super chat. Sammy, was John jealous that kid brother Gene was made before him?
I don't know if he was jealous. I don't know. I don't think so. I think he got made before him because John was away. So they couldn't, do anything. But when John come out, he had done Carlo Gambino a favor. He went to prison. There's a guy who kidnapped Carlo Gambino's nephew, an Irish guy. I forgot his name. And they tried to get ransom, $200,000 from Carlo Gambino to get his nephew back. Carlo Gambino refused to pay the money. He called his whole family into a circle, from what I understand, and told his family, I could pay the money, but if I pay this money, we're all vulnerable. Other kids in our family will get kidnapped. And he decided not to pay it. The family agreed with him, understood it, thought he was right. Unfortunately, they killed the nephew. And then he gave, Neil gave it to John Gotti and Angelo Ruggiero and another guy, I don't remember his name, who they found out about this Irish guy. They went in the bar in Staten Island. They killed him. They got pinched for it. There was a connection in the case. I think they only got 3-year sentences on it.
Wow. Thank you. A. Bruno in the super chat. Just his weekly envelope. No question, no comment.
Thank you, my man. I really appreciate it.
We have Harry, and he's saying, how you doing, Sammy? You got me through rehab watching your videos.
That's a great question, Harry, and I got you through rehab. Now, I was going to talk to you guys at the end, but Harry just asked me a great question. I'm glad I got you through rehab. I'm going to bring up something before I even go further. I was going to give away one picture at the end of this chat to give somebody like I did with the baseballs. But this question, I'm going to give away two. Harry, I'm going to give you one for this question. And then I'll pick a number and give somebody else one. And why I'm going to give you this, bro, is that I am so happy to hear that you're staying strong and you're keeping away from it. Last week, a guy, Gage, who was working for me, a black guy, he was editing, he was a photographer, he was doing great. We did an interview for Rolling Stone, and he took pictures of me, and they used those pictures. I got in touch with Rolling Stone and said, listen, this guy, Gage, took those pictures. He's an up-and-coming guy, young black guy. Give him credits for that. And they gave him special shout-out and credits for it. We did a thing. He came in the room. He had a smile from ear to ear. We were clapping. Hey, look, your picture's in Rolling Stone, and you're getting credits. Your name is being told. Well, Christmas time, we paid him. I gave him a cash bonus. I said, you're doing great. He had a drug problem and stopped. After the new year, his drug problem came back. And a couple of weeks ago, we found out he OD'd. We're in touch with the family. We're putting together a whole thing with his name, the pictures, and everything he did with us. We're going to go to his, a memorial. We're in touch with his family, his sisters, and we're going to go to the memorial and we're going to give the family this little gift from us. And it knocked the shit out of all of us, hearing that he was dead. And it really did, till today. He was 27. 27 fucking years old. Now, if he would have lived to my age, he would have had 50 fucking 51 more years of life. I did a video about it, and it's going to come out very shortly, and I'm ripping fucking mad with it in this video, and I'm not taking it back. I don't give a fuck who sees it, hears it, or what they say or do. I'm going to come out with that video very, very shortly. And then Richie, who's my bud, and he stays, and I got my studio next door with him. And he has a friend who helped me when I first started business, real great guy. And I heard Richie almost literally crying. And I went out and, what's up, Rich? What happened? And this guy, I can't even think of his name, died. He killed himself. I was with the guy yesterday. He was telling me his problem. It's a family issue. I don't want to get into the family and the name and all of that. And I told him, I said, listen, everybody's got this problem with, and he was just so brokenhearted, and he grabbed me, hugged me, and kissed me. Sammy, thanks for the advice. He wasn't fortunate like you, Harry. He went home last night and killed himself. Depression, drugs. And I grabbed Richie. I went out. Like I said, he's my bro. We've been together since I started 4 years ago. I gave him a hug. And I told him, Richie, let me know. We'll go to the funeral together. And he said, Sammy, I know he came in last night and he told me, he says that you gave him a lot of encouragement and all of this stuff. But I guess it didn't work in his case. And it deflated the shit out of me again. And then I got a message from a good friend, an old friend of mine in the Mafia. I just found out his grandson snorted cocaine laced with fentanyl and OD'd. 29 years old. I'm brokenhearted for the people and this thing. I'm against this fentanyl. I've been talking about it. And in less than a couple of days, actually, I'll say a couple of days, I hear all this. This stuff is just killing it. And that's why, Harry, I love your question, and I'm so proud of you that you listened. I gave you the encouragement to stop. I love it. I'm going to give you one of my pictures signed, and I'm going to say, keep it up on the picture, and I'm going to put my name on it. And that's to you, my friend. Keep it up. Stay away from these fucking drugs, and anybody else on this thing that's listening to me or in any way, shape, or form. Keep it up. Stay strong. Your life affects so many people. So many people get hurt. Don't do this. You're not only taking your own life, you're destroying people, your mother, your father, and people. I'm going to go to the moms and dads, brothers and sisters, cousins, uncles, aunts, friends. Please talk with them. Help them. They're caught up with this shit. Here's a kid who snorted a little coke. Look what's going on. Complain. Close the fucking borders. Wherever it's coming from, I don't give a fuck. India, China. Talk to the president. Be outspoken. Shut the fucking borders and whack these fucking countries that are fucking sending this here. This isn't to become a junkie. This is to kill us. He snorted coke. He don't even know there's fentanyl on it. You're not trying to make him a drug addict. You're trying to kill him. This is murder. Our kids are being murdered in the fucking streets. And our country is doing nothing to stop it. There's going to be many more videos I'm going to do about this thing, because this thing has really got my goat. I got a family member. They're not dead, thank God, yet. And I hear these things, and I know the guy that I said was, I'm not going to mention his name, was in the street with me, and this is his grandson, and that's fucking killing me. My friend is 80 fucking years old. And he's got to listen to this and see this. Your grandson growing up, you're proud of him. Good looking boy. So Harry, I hope you stay strong. Please, keep it up. And I'm bringing this out now with you is hearing this, and whoever else is on this, listening to this, please help these kids and help them by stopping this border and making a voice, a powerful voice, our fucking voice. Close this fucking border. We all know what's happening and where it's coming from. It's almost like we're allowing it to happen. Why? Why? To destroy the country? To hurt people? I heard another story that 70,000 people died of an overdose last year from this fentanyl. Now that might even be a low number, they're telling me. All right, let me go further, because there's a lot of people on here with a lot of great questions. You people are great. So I got it. It's time for me to go on. Let me just take a sip of coffee. I need to take a little deep breath for a second.
Take your time, Sammy. J. Marie in the super chat. Sammy, I was in gangs and also a drug dealer, but now I'm flying straight. Can you tell us a story about a bust out you may know about or be involved in? Also, I have a podcast and I'd love to interview you one day. Stay safe.
Well, great. I'm glad that you stopped and you reformed and you're on the right way. A podcast is good. I told my friend Dom, who's starting one, tell the truth, be honest, be open about it. Some people are going to like you for it. Some people are going to dislike you for it. But don't worry about it. Just tell the truth. Go with it. Be honest. Fight for people. Use your voice on your podcast to fight for people, and you'll grow in numbers. When I see you and you get up in numbers, maybe someday you'll be my numbers or even higher. I'll definitely have a conversation with you and see if I can help you. But right now, I'm going to help you with my voice by telling you, kill it, bro. Go for it. Go for it. And you'll learn something. And if it's not enough, then you get a job doing something and you do this at night until it builds and grows and whatever. Keep working. Keep it going. Fuck dealing drugs. Fuck prison. Fuck hurting people. Put that aside.
Thank you, Sammy. Fun for Reason with his weekly envelope. No comment, no question. Just his weekly envelope.
I really appreciate it, my friend.
Sammy, we got a lot of happy birthdays, kisses, blessings. God bless you. I think it's a bittersweet moment that, you were around all your loved ones this weekend, and, we got to celebrate you because, we love you and your family. And it's so bittersweet because then we hear things like unfortunate
like what I
things
just said. And I'm sorry, I wanted to say this at the end, but with this guy saying that I'm helping him rehab, and I just popped out of me. But and I thank you for your remarks and things and whatever. And it has been a bittersweet. I mean, I had a good time. I was by my son's. He cooked dinner for me, and we had some pasta and some chicken and rice balls he made and a few other things, and had a great time. My grandchildren running around. And again, I look at them playing, how innocent, and they have a whole life ahead of them. And it makes me think in that other direction of people who would try to take their lives. So it was bittersweet for me, but, I was a little down. I am still probably a little down, but hearing you guys and the envelopes and the birthday things, I love it. You saw I did a show. I put out a thing on Instagram. I think we got over 60,000, birthday, happy birthday and stuff like that. My personal phone blew up. I think I got over 400, people on my Facebook or Instagram and happy birthdays, and I appreciate it. And I think I got a lot more. You only supposed to get 78 candles. Should have got 78 happy birthdays, but I got hundreds of them, thousands of them, and I appreciate all of you guys. And I'll take this opportunity to say thank you for watching it and whatever.
Marco, love from Italy, Sammy. I wish you were my grandfather.
If your grandfather, how old are you, Marco? I mean, if you're too old, I don't want to be your grandfather. But if you're young, I would love to be your grandfather. So you can look at it this way, Marco. You're on my channel. You're talking to me. I'm like your granddad. I love you. We have Italian blood. I love you, and you could look at me as your grandfather. I got women from England, and I don't even know them. They're calling me Uncle Sammy and stuff like that when they're young. And I get it. I love it, and I answer them. Those are my little nieces and nephews, and so you're my grandchild. I mean, accept it. I accept it.
So we have about 5 minutes left, Sammy, and I know you wanted to give away a signed picture by you. Can you please pick a number from
1 through 28?
1 through 28. Now, I'll say a number and it'll wind up being Harry. You can't win twice, Harry. Number 4.
Mad Coup. You get a picture. Can you please send an email to soldiers@sammythebull.com? soldiers@sammythebull.com.
Right, and you got to give your address and everything like that so we know how to mail it. I think with the balls, we did a few balls. Was there a problem with somebody?
Yeah, somebody didn't answer us.
Oh, somebody didn't send their address.
Yeah. 2 out of the 3 got sent out.
All right, 2 out of the 3?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So 2 of them didn't get their ball.
No, 2 got the ball.
2 got the ball,
third
but
one didn't.
2 the third
Yeah,
one
the third
did.
one didn't.
Oh, all right. So here's what I'm going to do. Number 26, you're going to get a ball.
26. El Gato.
Oh.
Elgato. All right.
Yep.
So Elgato, you got a ball coming, and just make sure that you collected it. We need your address to send it. I'm not trying to find out where you live or anything, but we need the address so we can send it over. So 2 of you guys got pictures, and 1 guy got a ball.
Yep. Hey, Sammy, real quick, you got a whole bunch of people from all around the world watching. Just want to name off a few countries and states: Nicaragua, UK, Russia, Romania, Scotland, New Zealand, Canada, Liverpool, Manchester, Africa, Netherlands, Bensonhurst, Sweden. Then we have Texas, California, Florida, Vegas, Connecticut, New Jersey, New York, Arkansas. What's up, everybody? Tell them hi, Sammy.
Hey, that's the wow. I didn't think it was that many. Is it Bensonhurst in Africa?
No.
No. So that's to all my friends in Bensonhurst. I know where Bensonhurst is.
You guys, I asked you guys to drop it in the chats earlier. Now everybody wants to blow up with your chats now. Look at this. Norway, Australia. Come on, people. Philippines. Look at that. Brooklyn, Queens. Everybody's in here now.
Gravesend, Brookline. Yeah.
Yep. Trinidad. What's up, Trinidad? Here.
It's I forgot like how to talk like a Trinidadian. Yeah, man. Isn't that they talk like that? Hey, man. Hey, man. Thank you for your birthday wishes.
Nice.
Wrap it up.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm getting the order to wrap it up. So I'm going to say my usual adios, motherfuckers. Mwah.
Drop a like.
All right, I'm not your dad, Betty Ann, but being your daddy, I'm going to hold your hand, slap your butt, daddy. So, hiya, Betty Ann. Love you. Huh? Anybody who's still in there, drop a like, subscribe, do the whole thing, and appreciate you guys. Love yous. Come on, we want to see those subscribe buttons go crazy.
Sammy, we have one more super chat. Fun for Reason is back with another envelope. Estonian guy greets you from Munich, Germany. What U.S. top 3 cities to visit for the encore? Go ahead, Sammy.
New York is a great place, but right now it's running a little tough. Florida is great, and if you come to Arizona, that's great. And if I can find out where you are, well, I'll meet you.
Thank you, Betty Ann, for the envelope. Very generous. Very
And
nice.
Betty Ann, I'm
birthday
in
gift.
Arizona. I'll be your daddy.
Okay, now he's really leaving.
All right, now I'm gone. They're throwing me out now.